Hey everyone, I'm the Canadian Lad, and this time I watched Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings at 0.25x speed and found 30 new details. Now I found some incredible details that I'll guarantee you haven't noticed before. And for the first time ever, I'm gonna go chronologically. So please watch the video till the end where the details keep getting better. But first, I'd like to thank Dr. Squatch for sponsoring this video. I've been using Dr. Squatch soap for over a month and I can officially say I'm converted. It's impossible to go back to regular soaps now. I recently tried their scent, Wood Barrel Bourbon, and boy is it fragrant. It's probably the most smelly soap I've ever smelled, and I definitely recommend this one if you're trying to impress someone or need a confidence boost. If this soap were sold in the MCU, I could name a few heroes who would benefit from it. Made without harsh chemicals and simple ingredients that I can pronounce, I honestly feel the difference on my body. Showers have never been better. Looking for a holiday gift? Well, Dr. Squatch is releasing new deals weekly throughout the month for Squatchmas. You can buy a gift set or BYOB and choose exactly what items you want to include. Or you can even bundle hair care or deodorant or anything else, all for a discounted price. Visit their website throughout the holidays to see what deal is running and find the perfect gift. Dr. Squatch offers a money-back guarantee if you don't think this is the best soap you've ever tried. And right now, new customers will get 20% off on orders of $20 or more, and they now ship to Canada. Just use my code DSCLAD and click the link in the description below. Number 1. At the beginning of the film, when we see Wenwu, aka the Mandarin, fighting for the first time in the MCU, he uses the 10 rings to block all the arrows from hitting him. But in slow motion, you can actually notice that the rings are creating even bigger rings around Wenwu, surrounding him with the dome of energy. And I love how Wenwu would strike the 10 rings to the ground to generate momentum so that he can make a higher jump. And while landing, he strikes the ground again to clear space for his safe landing. Number 2. Watching Wenwu destroying the main gate so easily, the soldiers around him simply let him walk forward as they now realize they cannot defeat him. Number 3. When we see the Mandarin fighting wars throughout history and winning, at one point we see one of his men bombing a government facility. Now notice for less than a second here, we can spot a newspaper with the headline that reads, Captain America to receive the Medal of Honor. So this incident took place right after Captain America became famous and was still in active service. Number 4. When Wenwu was entering Talo, the trees in the forest started attacking his car. But if you notice closely, even before they got hit, the screen on the dashboard was already glitching. This indicates that technology of any sort doesn't actually work in the village of Talo. Number 5. Every time Lee blocks Wenwu's attack, a slight gray shockwave can be seen around it. Now can I just take a moment to appreciate this whole scene? This was choreographed so nicely that it almost felt like a romantic dancing routine rather than a fight. Huge credits to Tony Leung and Fala Chan for acting it out so naturally. Number 6. When Shang-Chi's mother gave him the green necklace, it was loose around his neck, but as he grew older, it got tighter, meaning he didn't even replace the twine of the necklace. Number 7. When Sean goes to Katie's house, right outside we can see multiple posters talking about the blip. The cinematic universe is so real that there's apparently a support center for people having anxiety post-blip. Now I like how there's a blip sync poster as well, which is probably a show named after the real-life lip sync battle. Number 8. Now this one is a very crucial detail that literally foreshadows the plot of the film. When Shang-Chi is about to have breakfast at Katie's grandmother, aka Waipo, tells Shang-Chi to sit in a different chair because her late husband Weigong used to sit here.
这是外公的座位。
Oh, sorry.
Waipo then talks about how she keeps food and other items for her dead husband, so she's deluded and believes her late husband is still with her. That's when Katie walks in and tells her to move on.
We just know Wai Gong would have wanted you to move on and enjoy your life.
Now if you think about it, this is the entire plot of the film. Wenwu thought he heard voices of his dead wife and believed she could return to life instead of moving on. So the whole plot of the movie was already foreshadowed in the beginning of the film. Number 9. Now in the same diner scene, Katie's mother was taunting her for not having a better job. Hearing this, Katie decides not to have her breakfast and simply leaves for work. So Shang-Chi had to follow her lead as well. But notice unlike Katie, Shang-Chi does finish his food and even does the dishes. But it happens off screen and we only hear it. This is because Katie's house is the only place where he gets free food, and he wouldn't want to lose that.
Maybe Sean can help him instead of just showing up every day to eat our food?
Number 10. Inside the bar where Katie and Sean were talking to their friends, we got to know that Katie does have an honors degree from Berkeley.
You're a valet driver with an honors degree from Berkeley.
Notice as Shang-Chi was saying bye to Katie's grandma, in the background we can see a photo of Katie wearing a mortarboard. So this photo is a proof that she really graduated with an honors degree. Number 11. Now in the bus, we of course meet the same guy who told Peter to do a backflip in Spider-Man Homecoming. We all know that. But notice as he's streaming the whole fight, people kept commenting and already started calling Shang-Chi the bus boy. Number 12. At the end of the bus fight, the bus collides with a sanitation truck. Now the license plate on the truck reads 1E49905. Now I of course Google every license plate that I see in a Marvel film. And guess what? This same plate was also used in Clint Eastwood's 1978 film Every Which Way But Loose. Number 13. As Shang-Chi and Katie entered the Golden Daggers Club, two ladies at the back actually recognized Shang-Chi. This is probably because Shang-Chi's buzz video received more than 2 million views, so he has gained some followers because of this video. Number 14. Inside the club, there were multiple fights taking place at the same time. Now in one of the cells, we can actually see an extremist soldier from Iron Man 3, who we later see again receiving treatments while Wong and Abomination teleport somewhere else. And notice the same fighter who stabbed him in the first place is also the one treating his wound. Number 15. In the scene where Shang-Chi, Wenwu, Katie, and Xia Ling are all having dinner together, notice Katie, who was born and raised in America, is not able to pick up any food using chopsticks. So Asian culture is something she's really unaware of. I'm so happy this movie actually breaks the stereotypes in so many ways without making it look like it was forced. I mean, it establishes a point that if you're born and raised somewhere, no matter where your ancestors are from, you belong there. Number 16. Now in the same scene, Wenwu acknowledges that he has been given many names over the course of his life. But notice what he says here.
I've had many names throughout my life. The Warrior King, Master Khan.
So Wenwu had the title of Master Khan at some point in history. This may mean that he was actually the warlord Genghis Khan, similar to how the Eternals were critical parts of human history and how the Asgardians were worshipped as gods in Norse times. So Wenwu had his fair share throughout the MCU history as well. Thanks to Jacob for pointing out this detail. Number 17. When Lee and Wenwu got married, they had their picture taken at a studio. Considering they used a painting in the background rather than a green screen implies they got married in the 90s. Now notice this photo that was taken here is now framed in Wenwu's office. They're both wearing the same outfit and the background matches as well. Number 18. When we meet Trevor, played by Ben Kingsley for the first time in the film, we can hear him saying,
"Wake, Duncan, with thy knocking."
This line is from William Shakespeare's Macbeth, a tragedy where Macbeth goes mad after hearing witches tell him what to do, similar to how Wenwu is going mad, being manipulated by the Dweller. I like how almost all the random dialogues of the movie aren't random at all. They somehow still connect to the plot of the film. Number 19. When we see Morris sitting on Trevor's lap, in the background there were several Easter eggs backing up the story of Trevor. He said he's from Liverpool, and in the background we can see a scarf of Liverpool Football Club. Even his yellow mug has the Liverpool FC logo on it. There's also a poster in the background for yet another Shakespeare play, this time King Lear, with Trevor playing the lead role according to this poster. Thanks to my friend Jacob once again for pointing out this detail. Number 20. Xia Ling finds a tunnel underground to escape from this compound, so she looks up the car keys and takes Razor Fists. But notice there's another key just beside it that has a tag that reads DABU7CHA, or The Butcher. This could be a possible reference to Gore the God Butcher, who will be appearing in Thor 4. Number 21. When they all enter Tala with the help of Morris, on the dashboard screen we can actually see the playlist of Razor Fist. Number 22. In Wenwu's desk we can see a monkey paw on a stand. Now this is a symbol of desire and greed, everything that its owner could possibly wish for and the unrestricted ability to make it happen. So it totally makes sense for someone like Wenwu to have this by his desk. Number 23. When Wenwu takes young Shang-Chi to take revenge for the death of his wife, notice what happens just before he strikes a blast. His rings along with his veins all light up even before he strikes, indicating whoever wears the 10 rings can literally control them through their mind. That's why the rings light up even before he makes any movement. Number 24. During the final fight between Wenwu and Shang-Chi, Wenwu throws such a heavy punch at Shang that I believe is also one of the greatest VFX works in the MCU. Let me break it down in slow motion. First, Wenwu throws the rings that hit Shang-Chi's stomach and stays stuck. This blow in and of itself was enough to take down Shang-Chi. But then Wenwu summons the rings back and follows it with a second punch. And notice his is not just throwing a regular punch using the rings here. Instead, he tosses all of his rings again to generate more power and sends Shang-Chi underwater. Number 25. After Shang-Chi comes back from the water and fights his father again, he pulls half of his father's rings. But notice how Shang-Chi literally hops on the rings to strike a flying kick. Kinda reminds me of Infinity War, where Star-Lord did the same with the help of Doctor Strange. Number 26. Now while throwing this flying kick, Shang-Chi summons the rings, but this time near his leg, so that his kick has more power to it. But notice what Wenwu does here. The moment Shang-Chi steps on the rings, Wenwu immediately realizes what Shang-Chi's gonna do. So instead of tossing his rings, Wenwu decides to wear them, because he's gonna need the rings to defend against such a strong kick. Number 27. Just before Shang-Chi steps on the rings, making it a floating staircase in order to throw a flying kick, just before that, Shang and Wenwu were going at each other without pulling any punches. Now notice this frame. It looks as if Shang-Chi can actually transform his rings into fireballs, almost like a dragon breathing fire. Number 28. Someone said in the last moments, people show you who they really are. And Wenwu in his last moment chose to save the life of his son over his own. He could have easily escaped from here, rather than giving in to the Dweller in Darkness. But he sacrificed his life when he realized his mistake, and passed his powers to his son. Now notice the moment the rings leave Wenwu's arms, it becomes slightly bigger in size, or should I say goes back to their original size. And just as Shang-Chi puts them on, the rings get a bit smaller to fit his arm. So this is quite like the nano gauntlet that changes its shape to fit the wearer, but of course 1,000 times more powerful. Number 29. When Xia Ling, Shang-Chi's sister, realizes her father is dead, she and Shang-Chi both take a minute to look at each other without saying anything. This one simple scene is why I think this movie worked great. I mean, think about it for a moment. Even though they both grew up despising their father, but it's still their father, and he's a major reason they both possess such a level of power. So the writers writing a moment where these two characters literally say nothing but just gaze into each other, that was enough to convey to the audience that they're both hurt and relieved at the same time. Giving characters moments like this helps develop their arcs, therefore allowing the audience to connect better. Number 30. Now this one is not exactly a detail, but something that I observed. While fighting Death Dealer, Shang-Chi's whole childhood flashes before his eyes. He remembers each and every way Death Dealer caused him pain. As a result, in this fight, Shang-Chi was 100% ready to kill Death Dealer and take revenge, but Wenwu intervened and stopped him. This shows how vengeance was still running in Shang-Chi's blood in the middle of the movie. But by the end of the movie, when he gets all the 10 rings and can literally kill his father any moment, he chooses not to, even though he had planned that he would if needed to.
I'm gonna do what he trained me to do. I'm gonna kill him.
This shows that the story of Shang-Chi has come full circle. He's no longer overshadowed by vengeance. He's able to see the bigger picture now. And that's it. This would be my breakdown of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings at 0.25 big speed. If you like the details that I found, please give me a thumbs up, grab the subscribe button and turn notifications on. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter to get updates about my videos. Till then, I'll see you lads in the next one.